Marvel quiz. If you are new here, my name is Nicola and this is Stuart. If you aren't new and you're returning again, welcome back. So hopefully you've enjoyed the other ones and you're here to play again. So yeah, welcome to week 3.
Look how burnt we are.
I know, we've been sitting in the garden for the last few days because the weather's been really nice here in Scotland, so we've been making the most of it.
Look like a skeleton.
So, the rules for our game tonight. We have one question from each of the 23 films, plus 7 MCU general knowledge questions, and also 2 guess the movie rounds, each with 5 questions, which will round us up to an even 40.
Yep, so as you can see on the screen, we've broken them down into 7 rounds. The first 4 rounds relate directly to the phases as they are in box sets. We'll move on to the general knowledge and then our 2 guess the movie rounds. Within the first 4 rounds, the movies are not in order, so the questions are done in random order. Before each round for the phase ones, we'll tell you what films are included in that phase.
So after each question is read out, we'll pause and repeat for anyone who might have missed it, but we'll not be going back over any questions at the end because it just holds everybody up. After the question is read out, we'll try to give you enough time to answer. Some answers might need longer than others, but that will become apparent as we go. And we'll go through the answers for phase 1 and 2 before moving on to phase 3, then go through the answers for phase 3 before moving on to general knowledge. Then we'll finish with the 2 guess the movie rounds and their answers as well, just to break it up.
So in terms of point scoring, it's up to you playing at home how you want to score yourself. If there are questions with multiple elements to an answer, you can score individually for that, or you can just give yourself 1 point for the question.
Yeah. And if anyone has any questions that we've not covered, stick it in the live chat and let us know that you're here as well. There's a few people that have joined already, so hi guys, thank you for joining us. And here we go. So phase number 1, there's going to be 6 questions, and the movies in this phase are...
Yep, so we have Iron Man, The Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America, The First Avenger, and The Avengers.
So here we go, guys. What does Obadiah bring Tony back from New York? So what does Obadiah bring Tony back from New York?
So I think this is after Obadiah's been to a board of directors meeting on Tony's return from his captivity. And he announces that they're not going to be manufacturing weapons anymore.
So, question number 2 from phase 1. Which Grand Prix does Tony race in?
Grand Prix. I think it's, I probably should have said from the start, I think phase 1 and 2 this week are quite difficult, and then...
Probably more like week 1 if you have done week 1.
Phase 3 should be a little bit easier.
So, which Grand Prix does Tony race in? I don't know why I keep saying it like that. Grand Prix.
Grand Prix. You put an accent on it.
No. Question number 3. Which actor played the role of Emile Blonsky, also known as Abomination? So, which actor played the role of Emile Blonsky, also known as Abomination?
So this was from The Incredible Hulk, in case you were wondering.
Then question number 4. What does Steve Rogers use to defend himself against the bully in an alley? What does Steve Rogers use to defend himself against the bully in an alley? Right, question number 5. What animal does Thor attempt to acquire at the pet store? I love this. What animal does Thor attempt to acquire at the pet store? And then question number 6. In the Avengers, which Avenger spends much of the film under Loki's spell? So, in the Avengers, which Avenger spends much of the film under Loki's spell?
This is probably the easiest one out of phase 1.
So, moving on to phase number 2, and we have 6 questions again, and the movies are...
So we have Iron Man 3, Thor the Dark World, Captain America, The Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, Avengers Age of Ultron, and what's the last one? Ant-Man. Okay.
So, question number 1.
So after escaping an attempt on his life by the Winter Soldier, where does Nick Fury go to hide? So after escaping an attempt on his life by the Winter Soldier, where does Nick Fury go to hide?
So, question 2.
Yeah, in Thor the Dark World, the centre of the convergence is located in which European capital city? So in Thor the Dark World, the centre of the convergence is located in which European capital city? Okay, so question 3. Harley loans Tony which of his sister's belongings? This is from Iron Man 3. Harley loans Tony which of his sister's belongings? Harley was the random guy at Tony's funeral in Endgame that nobody knew who he was.
What was that?
Kettle's broke.
Question 4.
So how does Quill distract Ronan from destroying Xandar? How does Quill distract Ronan from destroying Xandar? This is the showdown at the end of Guardians.
I love that bit. So number 5.
So 5. How did Vision gain the trust of the Avengers before leaving to fight Ultron? So this is just after Vision is brought to life. So how did Vision gain the trust of the Avengers before leaving to fight Ultron? Question 6. What is the name of the carpenter ant that was Ant-Man's loyal steed? What is the name of the carpenter ant that was Ant-Man's loyal steed?
Ooh, what's it gonna be?
Clues in the question.
Somewhere. So, we'll just give you a minute if you've got any gaps to fill in the gaps, and we'll go through the answers now for phase 1 and 2. So you'll need to let us know how you get on with these phases in the live chat if you could, that'd be great. So here we go. Phase 1. What does Obadiah bring Tony back from New York? And the answer is... Pizza. So we've added some pictures in with your answers this week. So hopefully you like this, just from the scene of the answer.
I think that's Tony always sees Obadiah bringing pizza back as a sign that the meeting went badly.
So question number 2 from phase 1. Which Grand Prix does Tony race in? And the answer is... Monaco. So he races in the Monaco Grand Prix.
Because he can.
So, question number 3 from phase 1. Which actor played the role of Emil Blonsky, also known as Abomination? And it was Tim Roth.
Yeah, great actor.
So hopefully you've got that. Oh, harder than last week.
Yeah.
It is definitely harder than last week.
It will get easier.
Stick with us, so it gets easier, guys. So question 4 was, what does Steve Rogers use to defend himself against a bully in an alley? And it was a bin lid, or a trash can lid, whatever you want to call it. So he uses a bin lid.
I couldn't bring myself to write trash can lid.
That was both. Whatever you put, as long as you put bin or trash can lid. So question number 5. What animal does Thor attempt to acquire at the pet store? And it is a horse.
Yeah. He just strolls in, shouting, demanding a horse.
Absolutely backwards.
The guy lets him know that it's just cats and dogs and birds or something, I think.
So yeah, he tries to get a horse, so hopefully he's got that. Question 6 from phase 1. In the Avengers, which Avenger spends much of the film under Loki's spell? And it is Hawkeye. So he spends most of it under Loki's spell.
Yeah, I think that's pretty straightforward.
Hopefully. So now it's phase 2. So question 1 from phase 2. After escaping an attempt on his life by the Winter Soldier, where does Nick Fury go to hide? And it is Steve's apartment.
Can't really see. I couldn't really get a good picture of that because it's so dark.
5 out of 6 so far for Davey. Well done. That's really good. Hard roundsies.
Yeah.
So question 2. In Thor: The Dark World, the centre of the convergence is located in which European city? And it is London.
Yeah. So that's the Royal Naval College in Greenwich.
And that's where it is. So if you've put London, well done. Question 3 from phase 2. Harley loans Tony which of his sister's belongings? And it is a watch. If you got limited edition Dora the Explorer, then well done. A little Dora watch.
Not just any watch.
A Dora the Explorer. So, question 4. How does Quill distract Ronan from destroying Xandar? And it is a dance-off.
Of course it is. It's called back in Infinity War as well. I think when the Guardians meet the Avengers on Titan, and I think is it Drax says, "Tell them about the dance-off to save the galaxy."
So, question number 5. How did Vision gain the trust of the Avengers before leaving to fight Ultron? And he lifted Mjolnir. I hate saying that. I know, yeah.
Dance off, bro.
Exactly, Holly. Well done. 3 out of 6, 4 out of 6. Well done, guys. You've done really well considering, because this is a lot harder than last week. Score. So, well done. Question 6. What is the name of the carpenter ant that was Ant-Man's loyal steed? And it is...
Anthony.
Why not,
who was killed by Darren Cross.
Oh,
who shot him.
My bullet.
That's some shot, like hitting an ant with a gun.
That's skill.
That would be like us getting hit by a missile. There's absolutely nothing left of that ant, just its wing, I think, falls to the ground.
Oh, that's a shame. That is such a shame. 6 out of 6, well done.
That's
well done,
really
Lindsay and Caitlin, who's on fire this week. So, phase 3 now, part 1.
Yep, so the films we have are Civil War, Doctor Strange, I'm struggling, Guardians Volume 2, Spider-Man Homecoming, and Thor Ragnarok.
Yep, so these have 5 questions, yeah.
Yep, so question number 1. What is used to transport artwork, weapons and technology from Avengers Tower to the new Avengers facility? So this was in Spider-Man Homecoming. which happy refers to as moving day. So what is used to transport artwork, weapons and technology from Avengers Tower to the new Avengers facility?
So here we go, question 2.
As well as being a master of the mystic arts, what is Wong's role at Camartage?
That's another tongue twister again.
So as well as being a master of the mystic arts, what is Wong's role at Camartage? Hayley's boyfriend's got 11 out of 12.
Well done.
That's some effort.
That is really good. Really, really good. So,
Question 3. In Civil War, whose funeral did Steve attend? So in Civil War, whose funeral did Steve attend? Okay. Question 4. Who can be seen dancing during the opening fight scene of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2? So who can be seen dancing during the opening fight scene of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2? I think this one's a bit of a given as well.
do you think?
Yeah, I think
Hopefully. Question 5.
What is the name of the childhood ruse Thor and Loki used to take out the guards in the Grandmaster's hangar? So this was from Ragnarok. This might be a bit of a difficult one. People might remember it but not remember the name. So what is the name of the childhood ruse Thor and Loki used to take out the guards in the Grandmaster's hangar? Something that's humiliating for Loki but not for Thor.
Davy's missed question 3. What I'll do, Davy, is when we do the answers recap, I'll just give you a few extra minutes on question 3, just to save going back on this bit. So I'll give you a little bit extra when we go to do the answers.
Suspenseful pause.
Yeah. So, part 2, here we go.
So part 2 we have Black Panther, Avengers Infinity War, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Captain Marvel, Avengers Endgame and Spider-Man Far From Home.
Cool, here we go. Question 1. What relation is Killmonger to Black Panther? So, what relation is Killmonger to Black Panther? And question 2. Which country is Peter in when he wakes up in jail? So Peter Parker. So which country is Peter in when he wakes up in jail? Right, question number 3. What character is the giant Pez dispenser? So if you can think about the film and if you can think about the character on top of the Pez dispenser.
Yes, this is from Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Mm-hmm. And it blows up huge. But who's on the top? That's what we want to know. So, question 4. When Doctor Strange goes forward in time, he sees loads of possible outcomes of the coming conflict. How many did they win? So, how many conflicts did they win? Hopefully you can all remember his vision and how how many he's seen them winning. So question 5. What colour is Captain Marvel's blood? So what colour is Captain Marvel's blood? Oof.
You see it a few times in the film.
It's still not nice when you see it. No, it's a bit weird.
From the flashbacks.
Yeah.
That's where you see it.
So, question number 6 is a time heist. So which Infinity Stone are Black Widow and Hawkeye sent to retrieve? So which Infinity Stone, are Black Widow and Hawkeye sent to retrieve? Hopefully you all know that one. And now we'll go through the answers.
Yeah.
So here we go.
So what was it? What was Davy's one? Question 3?
Question 3 on...
Part 1,
Part 1, yeah. I think it was part 1.
Okay, so answers for phase 3. So what is used to transport artwork, weapons and technology from Avengers Tower to the new Avengers facility upstate?
And it is?
Stark cargo plane. So if you just put plane, like, that's fine.
But its official name is the Stark cargo plane. But if you put plane, then give yourselves a point.
There's Happy loading it up.
I love him.
And it's what's hijacked by the Vulture when it leaves the tower.
Yeah. So question 2.
As well as being a master of the mystic arts, what is Wong's role at Camartage? He is the librarian, whose predecessor was relieved of his head, as Wong puts it, by Caecilius.
So he's a librarian.
Yep. Question 3. In Civil War, whose funeral did Steve attend? I think this one was pretty straightforward as well. So that it was Peggy Carter.
There's a nice picture of Cap himself.
As a pallbearer.
So, question number 4.
Who can be seen dancing during the opening fight scene of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2? And it was Baby Groot.
Yay!
To Mr. Blue Sky.
I've just realised we forgot to pause on 3. Sorry,
Oh,
Davey.
yeah.
I hope you've got that.
What was
Sorry,
it?
guys.
I know it was only one question.
Peggy
yeah. Davey would have got that.
So it was Baby Groot that could be seen dancing during the opening fight scene of Guardians 2. Love Baby Groot. Question 5.
Yeah, what is the name of the childhood ruse Thor and Loki used to take out the guards in the Grandmaster's hangar? And it was Get Help. That's good. I think that was improvised as well.
Yeah.
By Chris Hemsworth.
Really?
And Taika Waititi kept it in the film.
That's cool.
Does loads of improvs, Chris Hemsworth.
Oh, that's cool. They got it. Good one. So, question number... Oh no, it's part 2, sorry. Sorry, it was 5 on that one.
So question 1 of phase 3 part 2, what relation is Killmonger to Black Panther? And they are cousins. So it was T'Challa's dad, T'Chaka, killed Killmonger's dad, Prince Njobu, I think his name is.
Njobu.
I think so.
So hopefully he's got that. They are cousins. So, question 2.
Which country is Peter in when he wakes up in jail? When he wakes up jail.
Oh no. When he wakes up in jail.
Who's jail? So this is from Spider-Man Far From Home, and it was Holland. With it's some Dutch football fans.
We've had 2 good weeks with no spelling mistakes, so
I know. We literally just went through this as well before we started. Disappointing.
He didn't wake up maybe he did wake up the jail, I don't know.
Yeah,
who knows?
aye. Whoever that is.
Holland jail, he's woken
Tom
them up.
Holland.
Question 3.
Which character is the giant Pez dispenser? You'll kick yourself if you never got this. It was Hello Kitty.
That is huge.
Yeah, it was in the trailer as well, so...
Hopefully he's all got that.
Exposure.
I love Pez. I don't know why.
I'm not Pez in ages.
Yeah, same. Years and years. They're so good though. Question 4.
So when Doctor Strange goes forward in time, he sees 14,605 possible outcomes of the coming conflict. How many did they win? And it was 1.
A whole 1.
There he is, going forward in time to check it out. With doing his rock on.
He's a funky guy, him. The good old Doctor.
Strange by name.
Yeah. So, question number 5.
What colour is Captain Marvel's blood? And the answer is blue. Because when she got a blood transfusion from Yonrog.
And now she has blue blood. Ugh. So, question number 6.
So during the time heist, or in the time heist, which Infinity Stone are Black Widow and Hawkeye sent to retrieve? And it is the Soul Stone, which of course Black Widow didn't come back from.
Spoiler alert if you've not seen it. I think that's so sad when she goes.
That's like one of the most emotional scenes in the whole MCU.
So, now we are moving on to general knowledge. So this is just a complete mixture. It's not specific. Well, there's phases, questions in it from the phases, but it's not like a phase 1, phase 2. So it's just a random. There's going to be 7 questions in this one. So here we go. Question number 1. What is the name of Thor's father? So, what's Thor's father's name?
Davey's struggling this week.
That's still very, very decent.
It's still a good score.
No, you should be proud of that.
Yeah, I suppose if you're comparing your last 2 weeks where you got really high scores.
Yeah. You never know, you might bring it back on general knowledge and guess the movie.
Yeah, there's a couple of easy ones and there's a couple of really, really tough ones as well.
So, what is the name of Thor's father? That was question 1. Question 2. How many MCU films has Captain America appeared in, including cameos but excluding the post-credit scenes? 19 out of 23, Kaylee, that's amazing. Well done.
It's a really good score.
I know. So question 2 is how many MCU films has Captain America appeared in, including cameos but excluding post-credit scenes? Question 3. Which film did Hawkeye make his first appearance?
So I think with the last 2 questions we've done for the last 2 weeks as well, with how many appearances and which film was the character's first appearance. So I think they're quite good questions to have.
Yeah, I like them because it gets you really thinking about when they first arrived. So which film did Hawkeye make his first appearance? Question 4. The upcoming Black Widow film is set after the events of which film? So it's in there somewhere, but where is it set?
So this has obviously been, this hasn't been part of any film, this has just been disclosed in the media.
Yeah, so the upcoming Black Widow film is set after the events of which film? Hopefully you can all get that. And question 5. Known as the Black Order, how many adopted children does Thanos have? So if you're not sure, just take a wild guess for this one. Just pick a number, your lucky number maybe.
Yeah, kind of think back to the last 2 Avengers films.
Yeah. So, known as the Black Order, how many adopted children does Thanos have? So, take a wild guess if you don't think you know it. That's what I like about these ones. You can just take a guess.
Yeah, that's why I try to make questions that you can at least have a punt at if you don't know.
take a good guess.
But I think all the children appeared in both Infinity War and Endgame. So
yeah, I'm pretty sure they did
think,
actually.
If you can think back to those two films.
And number 6 is our Stan Lee cameo again. So, which film was Stan Lee a security guard at the Smithsonian Museum? Oh, lots of discussion on that question.
Which one was that?
The adoptive children of the Black Order, yeah. So, which film was Stan Lee a security guard at the Smithsonian Museum? That is a toughie, like. Smithsonian. So, question number 7 is, how many individual directors have there been in the MCU? I was quite surprised when I actually seen how many there was. So, it's the same again. If you're not 100%, just take a guess. Like, just have a good shot at it.
Yeah, so this is if a film has a partnership, directors in that would, if there was 2 of them, then that's 2 individual directors. Just to clarify.
Hopefully that makes sense.
So that's why it's specifically individual directors. This is a really tough one as well.
That's why if you're not 100%, just take a wild guess and hopefully you'll get it, or you'll get close. So we'll go through the answers in a minute, but I think there's been a bit of discussion on the Black Order answer, so we'll just give you another minute or so to fill in any gaps that you have.
Yeah, I think there's a few questions in there that will have you kind of...
Yeah, especially...
have you thinking. So yeah, we'll give you a little bit extra time this week for those ones. But
hopefully you're enjoying it this week. It is a bit harder. We've went back to the harder side this week, but hopefully...
Next week's will be a bit easier, I think.
Hopefully it's got your brains working tonight. Right, so we'll go through the answers now.
Yeah, okay. So question number 1. What is the name of Thor's father? And it is Odin. That should have been a nice wee easy win to get you going. Anthony Hopkins.
Can love him.
Yeah, legend.
So
question number 2. How many MCU films has Captain America appeared in, including cameos but excluding post-credit scenes? This might have tripped a few people up, but the answer is 9. So he has his 3 solo films, 4 Avengers films, and then he has the brief appearance in Thor: The Dark World, which was one of the questions last week or the week before, where Loki turns into Captain America briefly. And then the last one that a lot of people forget about is Spider-Man Homecoming, which is where that picture's from, when he appears in the high school videos.
Oh yeah.
I think it's in gym class and detention as well.
Oh, well done, Holly, got that. Well done, Holly.
Good answer.
So, question number 3.
Which film did Hawkeye make his first appearance? And it was Thor. He was watching over Mjolnir.
So hopefully he's got that.
So question number 4. The upcoming Black Widow film is set after the events of which film? And the answer is Civil War. So Black Panther will be set between Civil War and Infinity War.
Black Panther? Black Panther?
Civil War and Infinity War?
Yeah.
Did I say Black Panther?
Yeah.
When?
Just there you went, Black Panther will be set between Civil War and
I?
Infinity War.
Oh, right. Same then. Filming this live is a mistake. I'm doing so well.
So, question 5.
So, known as the Black Order, how many adopted children does Thanos have? And the answer is 6. So that's a picture from Infinity War where you can see 4 of them. So we have Nebula and Gamora, are the two daughters.
Yeah.
He also has Ebony Maw, Proxima Midnight, her husband Corvus Glaive, and Cull Obsidian is the big guy.
So bonus points if you manage to name them as well, by the way.
Yeah.
Gamora and Nebula are definitely 2 that I think people would get.
Yeah, aye. But you obviously, you know there are more as well. But
yeah.
you might
So
not
yeah,
know.
6. There were 6 adopted children. So
our weekly Stan Lee cameo question. Which film was Stan Lee a security guard at the Smithsonian Museum? And the answer was Captain America the Winter Soldier. This is when Captain America goes back to steal his own uniform, or his old uniform from the first film. And that's when he says, "I am so fired," and he realises it's gone. Love Stan Lee.
So hopefully he's got that. So question 7.
How many individual directors have there been in the MCU? And the answer is 17.
That is nuts.
Aye. So massive well done if you got this right, because that was a hard one. So I'll reel them off just now in the order of when they came into the MCU. So pictured there is the original Jon Favreau, who done Iron Man and Iron Man 2. Then we have Louis Leterrier, who done The Incredible Hulk, Kenneth Branagh for Thor, Joe Johnston for Captain America the First Avenger, Joss Whedon done the first 2 Avengers films, Shane Black was Iron Man 3, Alan Taylor Thor the Dark World, Anthony Russo and Joe Russo done Winter Soldier, Civil War and Avengers 3 and 4, James Gunn for Guardians 1 and 2,
Yay.
Peyton Reed for Ant-Man 1 and 2, Scott Derrickson for Doctor Strange, John Watts, Spider-Man 1 and 2, Taika Waititi was Thor Ragnarok, Ryan Coogler for Black Widow, jokes Black Panther, and Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck directed Captain Marvel together.
So that's your 17. Oh, close,
Yeah.
Davey. Said 16. Very, very, very close.
Good guess, though.
I know, very good guess. So,
Well, I say guesses.
well, yeah, you might
worked
have.
out.
You might have worked it out and maybe just missed one. Now we're going to move on to guess the movie round. Number 1, which is pictures. So you're going to have to guess the movie from the pictures on the screen. So, oh, I forgot that Captain Marvel had 2 directors. That's what it was.
Ah, yes. They also wrote the screenplay, I think, for it as well.
So
They were
here
heavily
we go.
involved.
Question number 1. Which movie is this scene from? So we'll just give you a minute to have a look at that. Hopefully that's quite clear.
The guess, the picture round's a bit easier this week as well, in my opinion.
So that was question 1. Question number 2. Which movie is this from? He gives me the absolute creeps. But anyway. I don't know why he's that colour either. Like it's a funny colour, isn't it?
Well, there's loads of them.
I
There
know,
are
no, I
different
know.
colours, isn't there?
So that's question number 2. Just give us a minute. Now question number 3. Oh, he's even worse. That's question 3. Which movie is this image from? This screen grab?
That's a pretty iconic image.
Worst
What's
character
it
name though.
Or best character name. Depending
Whatever
on how
way you look at it, yeah. For number 2, yeah, no. Ugh. Hopefully you can spell it. Question 4. Which movie is this from? So what movie is this screenshot from? And question number 5. What movie is this from? It makes me laugh thinking about it, thinking about these 3.
Yeah, good.
So what movie are these guys from? So now we're going to go on to quotes. So there's going to be 5 quotes, and you'll have to guess the movie for each quote. And yeah.
Yeah. So quote number 1, I love you 3000.
Absolutely iconic. If you don't know this,
there are 2 people that say this, so either one you'll get a point for.
Well, it's movie.
Oh no,
yeah.
sorry, yeah, it's the movie. What's the movie from? Yeah, sorry.
But if you want to put down who says it, then...
Yeah, if you're playing at home and you want to give a point for the movie and a point for who said it, then go for it, because we will be telling you who said it and in what film.
And the movie, yeah.
Nice a wee bonus.
I know, a couple
bonus
of
question for you.
Bonus points.
Bonus challenge.
Love a bonus point.
So, quote number 2, bitch please, you've been to space.
Sorry if there's kids. Just forget that first bit.
Well, the movies are rated 12.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
If your kids are old enough to watch
the movie, then
they're old enough to hear that quote.
Just hold their ears for that first bit.
And cover their eyes for the picture too. So, quote number 3. I don't want to kill anyone. I don't like bullies. I don't care where they're from.
Oh.
You need to say these quotes like so just monotone and boring, so you're not like giving anything away.
I know.
I mean, my voice is like that anyway, so it's fortunate.
It's not that bad, come on.
Okay, so quote number 4. Baskin Robbins always finds out. Again, there's 2 people that say this.
I just can't, the whole name now, just Colonel Baskin.
I wonder when Baskin Robbins is going to open again. I wouldn't mind one.
Baskin?
Okay, so quote number 5, last one. You shouldn't have killed my mum and squished my Walkman.
Walkman?
Walkman. What did I say?
Walkman.
You shouldn't have killed my mom and squished my Walkman.
I think this is a fairly... It's obvious who says this, I think.
Yeah. Oh, you'd be gutted if you didn't get this.
So, go through the answers for both of these rounds. We'll just give you a minute. If you've got any gaps, then you can fill your gaps. And hopefully, you've managed to answer them all and you get them correct. So, here we go. Question 1. Which movie was this from? And it was?
Captain America, the First Avenger. That's a pretty iconic picture as well.
Yeah.
And I literally watched this film last night. So.
I was in bed.
I would have got it.
So, that was question 1. Question number 2. Which movie is this scene from? And who said it? And it is...
So this was Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
And what's his name?
That is Taserface.
Absolute savage name.
I had this when I was working last weekend. I had this movie on in the background while I was working, and I had to stop when Rocket started ripping into Taserface about his name. I had to just take a moment.
Focus on your work. So that was Guardians 2, if you got that. Question 3, which movie is this picture from? And it was?
Avengers Endgame. So this is after the portal scene, well, during the portal scene when everyone comes back.
Mm-hmm.
Cap says Avengers assemble, and then
everyone assembled.
Yeah. Even though they're already assembled, but never mind.
Everyone gathers.
He had to say it.
So that was Avengers Endgame. Question number 4 was which movie is this from? And it was Iron Man.
Mark 1 that he builds in the cave.
The flames. Look at them flames. So that was from Iron Man. Question 5. Which movie is this from? Love these 3. And it is Ant-Man.
Yeah.
So they're all convict, aren't they? Well,
best buds.
Yeah.
Ex-cons buds.
Yeah.
So yeah, this could have been a bit tricky. Some people might have put Ant-Man in the wash, but
yeah. But hopefully you got Ant-Man.
Yeah.
And now we're moving on to the quotes. So, who said I love you 3000?
What movie was it from?
Oh yeah, sorry, I keep forgetting that we're doing movies.
But whatever you want to do it at home.
If you want to give yourself a bonus point, these are the people that said it.
So it was Tony and Morgan Stark both said it in Avengers Endgame.
Oh, love that.
Tony's hologram before his during his funeral.
Oh, sad. So, question 2. Bitch, please, you've been to space. And it was from?
So it was Nick Fury in Spider-Man Far From Home. I think that's when Peter Parker's a bit unsure about joining the Avengers.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Can't remember exactly.
I've not seen Far From Home in a while, actually.
Yeah, I need to rewatch it.
Mm-hmm. So that was Spider-Man Far From Home. Quote number 3 was, I don't want to kill anyone, I don't like bullies, I don't care where they're from.
So that was Steve Rogers in Captain America, the First Avenger.
When he's tiny and skinny.
Yeah, wee skinny Steve. So I think this is when he's with the doctor, can't remember his name, and the doctor asks him if he wants to go and kill Nazis, and that is Steve's response. Because he's a nice guy.
He's a nice guy. So quote number 4 was Baskin Robbins always finds out, and that was from Ant-Man.
Yep, so it was Dale who's Scott's boss at Baskin Robbins. But we were going through this earlier, weren't we, or yesterday, and I was sure that somebody else said it. So I was sure that Louise said it as well, or Louise. Is that how you say his name? I think so. But he also said it. So if you're playing the Who Said It game at home, then you get a point for Louise as well, or Louis.
I think it's Louise because it's got a Z on it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. One of them.
Yeah. Anyway.
Quote number 5 was, you shouldn't have killed my mom and squished my Walkman. Walkman.
So that was Peter Quill in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. He's obviously talking to Ego, his dad. And then he starts battering him.
What's that? Next week's question, name the doctor from Captain America, the First Avenger.
I literally watched it last night as well. I'd probably get it if I really thought about it, but
yeah, that's us.
Embarrass myself live again.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. I hope you enjoyed it. And that was your whole 40 questions.
Quick again, isn't it?
I know, it is quick.
How did people do for scores then?
So I'll let you add up all your scores and let us know. Also, if you could do the same as before and leave your comments once the video ends, because once the live chat ends, we can't see it again. So, although we can see some of them now, we won't be able to see it once the live ends. So if you could go back on later on once it's uploaded and add your scores onto the comments, that would be amazing.
29 out of 40.
That's amazing.
Really
that's
good.
so good.
Yeah, that's really good. It was a tough week.
36, Holly. That's so good.
Holly smashed it.
That is really good.
Left Fallon for dust.
Pip to the post, Davey. 31. That is really good. Well done, Kaylee. That's amazing.
There's some really good scores.
Well done, the Robbins household. Well, that's really good.
Yes.
So thank you so much for joining us, guys. We'll hopefully do another one next week. If you want to join us again, it'll be the same time, same day, I think. Yeah.
Yep, we'll be here. And
yeah, if you could, like I said, you could just leave your scores back in the comments after. That would be amazing. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
And have a good Thursday night. Thanks, guys.